Hey guys!
Hey guys! Happy Valentine's
Day!
Let's make a heart together.
Because it's Valentine, we want to put out a new video, a special one dedicated to love. So back when we were first dating, Kate introduced to me this idea that is very popular among American people, the way to learn about 5 different love languages.
Yeah, so it's this book by Gary Chapman, and basically in his book he lays out 5 categories in which people give love and the way that they might receive love.
So before we begin, we want you to know that we are not experts in marriage or relationship, and we are still at the very early stage of our marriage.
Babies.
But we found this tool is very helpful for us to understand each other's needs and communication style.
And to be able to communicate it to each other. So with that, we want to share with you the 5 love languages. So here is number 1.
Number 1.
Words of affirmation. This is the love language where you actually will say, I love you, or you might compliment, or saying what you appreciate about the other person through spoken words. So one way that John often uses words of affirmation in our marriage is anytime we have an anniversary or a birthday or a special day, really, he'll often give me a card that he writes special handwritten notes where I know he's taken time to think about what to say, and it's really encouraging, and I always feel encouraged by how he appreciates me.
And likewise, Kate also likes to express some of the words of encouragement every morning, usually before she left to work. She wrote down here in this like scratch.
Rainbow scratch paper. It's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I got plenty of them.
Love notes.
Love notes.
Yeah. Okay, so here's number 2.
Giving and receiving gifts. Thinking carefully about what the other person would like and surprising them with this. For example, Kate knows that I really like chocolate, especially dark chocolate, and once in a while she always surprised me with some chocolate gifts. During Valentine's, anniversaries, birthday, I got a lot, and also she got me this nice shirt. She said that I didn't have any
long sleeve
like mine.
Only t-shirts.
Yeah, only t-shirts. So
yeah, and we live in a cold place.
Exactly, so she was very thoughtful and try to find and make me look good.
Warm and good.
Warm and good, yeah.
Okay, and John, whenever he goes grocery shopping, which is often, he'll go after work, I won't ask for it, but he knows how much I love ice cream. And I was going through like a phase where I really liked popsicles, and without me even asking, he would come home and I'd be emptying out the groceries, and sure enough, I would have a 3-pack of Ben & Jerry's in my bag. So that was awesome. And he also brought home one time a 3-pack of popsicles too. So he really notices what I like and he joyfully offers it to me.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. The next one is acts of service. This is when you do favors or chores or go out of your way to help the other person. So one time I was explaining to John how I needed toothpaste because I had run out, but I really didn't want to go get the new box down in the basement because our basement is a little dingy, a little dark, a little damp, a little scary. And I was like, oh, I have to go, I really don't want to go. And then I like walked away and I was like, went about doing my things, and then all of a sudden I see him coming up the stairs, and he had gone to the basement for me without me even asking, and he brought me the box of toothpaste, and I just was like really felt like that was the way that he showed me love.
So an example for me is Kate oftentimes cook dinners and also plan for the meal throughout the week, and I really appreciate that, especially Kate does that at the end of her work days, and usually she comes home really tired and exhausted, but she still go beyond her way to make dinners for us both. So that is how I feel really loved by Kate. Number 4, physical touch. This is when you make physical contact in order to build intimacy or reassurance. So an example for me on this one is I really like and appreciate every time I come home from work, Kate likes to walk up to me and give me a hug and kiss, welcoming me home. It's really sweet. After a long day at work, it feels really nice to me.
Yeah, and so John uses this love language, I think sometimes in the mornings when my alarm goes off and it's still blackout because it's so early. He'll sometimes kind of come over to my side and put his arm around me kind of to say good morning, and I really like that. It makes me feel loved. It's a good way to wake up in the morning. And then when we're ever in public, he often will reach for my hand and just hold my hand while we're walking. So I really like that.
Sweet.
Last but not least, quality time. This is when you spend one-on-one, undivided time with somebody else. So John, almost every day after work, he will put his stuff down and he'll come right into the kitchen or the living room, wherever I am, and he will ask me, how was your day? And he's ready to listen to the lengthy stories I want to tell him. And he asks questions that are interactive, and it really makes me feel like he's listening and that he cares about me as a person.
So for me, I really appreciate Kate, who is willing to just sit around with me in the house, watching TV, watching the shows that we like on TVs, and spend time together with me. And we really like to read a book together, discuss about the book, or we also like to talk about a lot of things related to culture, traditions, and also faith. Yeah, so I really appreciate that, because knowing that means that Kate is willing to listen to my perspective as well as I listen to her perspective. And one other thing about Kate is that she never, almost never hold her phone while talking to me. So never, like a very dedicated. When she says that she will spend the time to talk with me, she puts her phone away. And
try to compartmentalize.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, so that means that I get full undivided attentions from Kate, which I really appreciate.
So there you have it, our 5 love languages and different examples of how we see them in our own marriage. With the 5 love languages, there's actually a website you can go to if you're like, I don't know what my favorite love language is, or I don't know what my preference is. There's actually a test that you can take that helps you sort of sort through, and it creates a list of the 5 in order from your highest preference to your lowest. And so we've included the link in our video here for you to check out if you ever get the chance. And so we want to reveal to you what our top love languages are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so John, now that you've taken the test recently, what were your top 2 love languages?
So my top 2, the first one is quality time. Yeah, and then the second one is act of service. What about you?
My top 2, my top one was quality time.
Great.
Ding, 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 ding. And my second one now is actually touch. Yeah. So then, on the other hand, what was your lowest preference?
My lowest preference is receiving gifts. And the second one is words of affirmation. What about you?
So my 2 lowest love language preferences, the lowest was also giving and receiving gifts, which works out for us because we both kind of line up there. And then also just above that was acts of service. And so that is your second top one, right?
Exactly.
And so it's really important for us to keep that in mind, that when I'm doing favors for John, it really speaks love to him, even though I may not see it that way. And so, yeah, I have to learn how to speak that language with him.
So we also took the test back when we were dating, and surprisingly the results are different with what we just recently took. So for me, the acts of service switched places with receiving gifts.
Yeah.
What about you?
So acts of service has become more important in our marriage than it was
to me
in dating or in friendships or family.
Yeah.
And then gifts has become less important. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think maybe being in a marriage when you live 24/7 with somebody else and you both work as a team, everybody try to do their own part, and that person shows up and does their part. I think that really speaks love to me. Yeah. And again, to me, just to me, I feel like action speaks louder than words. And when Kate does things beyond her normal routines, I think I really, really appreciate it. I feel loved by her.
And for me, what changed was actually touch was one of my lower scores back when I was more just doing it based on friendships and family. But being in a marriage, I think touch has become a lot more important to me about like maintaining and building intimacy. Because it's a way that doesn't require words, that you can communicate that you care about the person. And so when John kind of puts the effort in that domain, I feel really loved. And so it is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think one of the ones where we differ on is words of affirmation.
Yeah.
That's one of my higher scores, and for him, it's one of his lower scores.
Yeah.
And so it's important for me to realize that just because he's not using words of affirmation doesn't mean that he doesn't love me.
Yeah.
And then it's important for him to know that sometimes I really do appreciate that affirmation or him telling me in words how he feels about me or what he appreciates.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it is not knowing where you match, but also knowing where you mismatch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And knowing that words of affirmations is actually one of the Kate's highest priority. So I have to also try to go beyond my way and then try to fulfill that needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important.
It's important.
Yeah. And it all starts with a conversation. And,
Yeah.
you know, just like I started learning bahasa Indonesia.
Exactly.
Saya perlu belajar bahasa
Yeah.
cinta.
Cinta. Yeah.
Juga.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, John, how have you felt like the 5 love languages has really benefited you in marriage?
I think it's very important because in a marriage or other relationship, lovely relationship, there are times when you are in seasons that you feel your significant others don't really love you in a way that you perceive that. So it is important, and we think that it is beneficial for you to take the test together with your significant other and maybe start conversations about that and then see how you both match or how you both mismatch. Yeah.
Yeah, and the truth is, you know, with the 5 love languages, there's not one that's better than the other, really. A lot of it depends on what was modeled for you in your family home, your family structure, what's modeled for you in media, on TV, and also just your culture. And John and I come from 2 opposite sides of the planet.
Totally different.
So, you know, all of those things are different for us. And so we've had to have a lot of conversations about, you know, what was shown to us in our own cultures, and then how can we sort of adapt to each other's needs.
Yeah.
So happy Valentine's Day. We hope this helps, and we'll include the link for the website down below.
Yeah.
And feel free to leave your comments if you know anything else beyond what we've shared about the love languages, or if you want to share what your top love language is.
Exactly.
We love you.
Dude. No, that's not.
It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day.
Hey
guys,
happy Valentine's Day.
Let's make a heart together.
Cool methods that we discovered. So because of that, we wanted to share with you
the 5. That looks like 10.
Oh yeah.
But that's okay.
Just
You
cut that
get
out.
it.
Cut that.
What I like about you.
What I like about you.
Keep me one night. Yeah.
So.
Up, down, turn around. Sorry.
And same with what I did. No, not same with what I did. Okay. Okay.
And then he also brought home one time. Oops. You do special chores for the other person. It was really good. I think you just need a wrap-up sentence.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. It was really good, so I think you just need to wrap a sentence. And we but. It's so difficult with like. No, that's not right.
Yeah. Okay, Google, stop recording.
Go for it.
I'm designed to wait in standby mode until I'm activated, like when you say, "Hey Google."
I really, really appreciate Kate that oftentimes he no.
Uh-oh, secret's out.
Oops.
Love languages. Love languages. Oh yeah, acts of service.
Switch, please.
Me, my, mo,
Ma, 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 ma.
me, my, mo,
Switch, please. Nah. Too many.
Why?
Too long-winded.
Too long.
Did you stop the recording?
No. Okay, Google, stop recording.
GoPro.
I'm designed to wait in standby mode until I'm activated, like when you
Again.
say, "Hey Google." The status indicator on your device. lets
Okay,
you know
Google,
when
stop
I'm
talking. Okay, GoPro, stop recording.